Yo, what's up guys, it's TGFC Highlights. Today we will be discussing Arsenal and how to rebuild them basically. So please leave a like and subscribe, comment down below your opinions and share it just with your friends if you guys really like it. It would mean the world to me. Thank you so much. Alright, let's begin with this video. First thing we are going to talk about is where we are placed in the league. As of right now, we are placed 10th after we lost to Brighton 2-1 with 40 points, and we're behind Crystal Palace by 2 and behind our biggest rival Spurs by 5 after they defeated West Ham 2-0. We have won only 9 games, which is really poor, meaning we have 3 times less points than Liverpool, 3 times less wins than Liverpool this season. We have 13 ties, which isn't bad, but we could have turned those 1-pointers into 3-pointers. And Wolves have as many ties as us this season. The funny thing is that we have only lost 8 times this season, which is as much as Man United and Leicester have, who are 5th and 3rd, which shows that we aren't that bad, but we just tie way too much and we don't concentrate in the times we're supposed to. Then we have to also talk about goals and goals led, and we basically have a goal difference of 0. We scored 41 goals, which puts us 8th place in goals scored, which isn't bad, but more demanding for an attack like Arsenal have with Aubameyang and Lacazette. But Man City have scored 30 more goals than us, which is way more. And now we can talk about the goals we let in. We let in 41, which is an absolute disaster, and only 8 teams, all of them which are lower than us, have led more goals than us, which just shows how bad our defense is. And I'll talk about this later on in the video as well. Alright guys, next thing, let's look at our recent form. First of all, we weren't that bad with Arteta at the beginning of the season. We never lost any Premier League games except the one in against Olympiacos in the Europa League, but that doesn't really count as a loss. And we've had multiple ties, but the problem is basically the last 2 games after restart. The first one, which we lost against Man City, and everyone knew we would lose. Obviously, they scored the most goals in the league and have the same goal difference as Liverpool, so it would be a hard matchup. But the lack of performance our team put in was a disgrace. First 20 minutes weren't that bad, but then things started to tumble. I mean, players were playing really good, but then we lost Chaka, who was a key player in breaking up chances, and then we lost Mari as well, and which obviously led to Arteta to put in David Luiz, since he was the only center back, and then which led to us choking possession. And we also let Man City take 18 shots when we only took 3, and 0 of them were on target. That's right, 0. Let's talk about player performances though. We started out with a team which was not the best. We had a very young midfield with Saka, Willock, and Nketiah, I believe, and yeah, that basically shows that we don't have enough good experienced players. And then we also had Aubameyang, who played really poorly, and it looked like he wanted to leave. We had Ceballos, who didn't know what he was doing after he came in for injured Chaka, and then we had Bellerin that looked like he didn't even want to plant any trees, because if you know, Bellerin's doing this thing where every game Arsenal wins, they plant 3,000 trees. And then of course we had Luiz, who made a defensive error lead into the first goal and got a red and then the penalty, which surely wouldn't get a contract for him, but check it today, he got a new contract for some reason, but I'm not sure why. Then the next game after Man City, we came up against Brighton away, which started out good in the first half. We dominated in possession and our team looked good, but it was still 0-0 with our team lacking finishing. And of course, our best player, you could argue, which was Bernd Leno, he got a terrible injury, which really sucked, and he got injured by Mapai, who went on a 50-50, which was pretty bad. And yeah, Leno fell on his ankle and something, and then it looked like Mapai did it on purpose, but who cares. And then Martinez came in, he wasn't that bad, but then the second half, which looked promising with Pepe scoring a really good goal, but from then it went downhill. We lost concentration with us conceding a goal to Lewis Dunk because of our poor defense and Rob Holding being in the wrong place to clear the ball, and then a late finish by Mapai, the guy that injured Leno, which sucks. And later he said he didn't mean it and blamed it on Arsenal for having no humility, which I understand, but stop blaming it on the player. You should take credit for yourself. And there's a lot of this. There's a lot of stuff to discuss, like What on earth was Basuma doing? He fouled us like 10 times and the ref didn't call us. Like he called all the fouls but never gave him a red card. So he fouled like 10 times and kept on getting away with it. And who knows what would happen without that. But in the end, it was Arsenal's fault because they could never keep for concentration for the full 90 minutes. And yeah, we choked. Alright guys, now since we've discussed our performances, we could talk about rebuilding. I feel like we have to keep Arteta first thing. Even though our last games were bad, but he's been pretty good this season since he's came in. We haven't lost too much games, and he hasn't really gotten a chance to get anyone into the team, and that's a first thing manager would want to do. So hopefully we can give him a chance in the summer transfer window. First of all, we have to discuss who should leave the Arsenal team. So there's a lot of players that have to leave. First one being David Luiz, of course. Has honestly been the worst Premier League player this season, and he scored 2 goals, which is average for center back, but stats are horrific. Only having 6 clean sheets so far, 31 goals conceded and 25 tackles completed. Only 31 goals conceded, 26 interceptions, and only 5 50-50 balls, and 2 errors leading to goals, which is pretty bad. But I understand why they would want to make his contract longer so we could sell him later on. And then, but if we compare these stats to Virgil van Dijk's stats, who you could argue is the best defender in the league, there's a colossal difference. Okay, the second player to go is probably Mustafi, who just isn't good enough for the team. He's pretty old now, and I feel like since Koscielny, we've had terrible defenders. Okay, another player we should sell is probably Kolasinac. Since we don't use him that often, Kieran Tierney's coming into the squad. We have Saka, who could play left back as well, so there's no need of having Kolasinac in the squad anymore. Then we also have to let go of Sabas because he doesn't really want to play for Arsenal anymore. He says he wants to move back to Spain, and we really can't pay the we could use the 40 million euros Real Madrid want for him on someone else, like Upamecano. Alright, the second to last player we could probably sell is Ozil, who takes over 300k a week and doesn't even play. I feel like if we should play him more, and then if we play him more and see how he performs, we don't have to sell him. But if he just performs poorly and doesn't try, we should sell him. Then the last player that we need to sell is probably Lacazette. He hasn't been playing that much this season. He's been pretty good. He's played 22 goals and scored 7 games, which isn't best considering he's probably came in off the bench most of the times. But we probably need to sell him if we want to make money and buy our other key players. Defense is basically our priority. We have to fill in the gap in center back, and I feel like Upamecano is a good choice. He's proved himself in the Bundesliga this year. He's played really well. His battles have been good with him, winning roughly 65%, and his passing percentage has been really good at 90%. He has been heavily linked with Arsenal since the winter transfer window, and will probably be a main target for us. I feel like Arsenal need another center back for in case we don't buy Upamecano, and Arsenal have been linked to buying Umtiti from Barcelona or Evan Ndika from Frankfurt, which might be good transfers. I don't know. Comment down below what you guys think. Another major target is probably a center mid or CDM. And Arsenal are most likely going to go for Thomas Partey from Atletico, who has a short contract and wants to join Arsenal as soon as possible, which his salary even confirmed. And he hasn't been the best player, but claims to be really strong with interceptions, long balls, and tackling, which Arsenal really needs, and will help them and their defense get better. And finally, in case we sell Ozil, we will probably have to buy a creative cam, which could possibly be Coutinho, but there are other choices. So comment down below who you think will be the best transfer for Arsenal as a cam. But in conclusion, there's a lot of work Arteta has to do next year to rebuild Arsenal, including buying a good defender and strengthening the midfield roles to be more creative, to be able to defend but create chances for Aubameyang. Please drop a like if you guys liked this, and subscribe for future content. Comment down which team we should do next, and see you guys next time. Alright guys, one last thing before I end this video off. Please tune in for tomorrow for a Los Oso montage made by TG Choi, and please tune in this whole week for a montage made by TG Schmizzy. I would really appreciate it if you guys would check it out, and hopefully you guys are staying safe and have a wonderful weekend. Peace out.